Good evening and welcome. You're watching the NewsHour Agenda. I am Padmaja Joshi. It has been a spectre that we covered extensively right here on the NewsHour Agenda. That was political violence in West Bengal, especially after the assembly results came out last year. But after a seeming lull of almost 12 months, that same spectre of political violence has raised its head yet again in West Bengal. This after 10 killed series of events in Birbhum district of the state. It started with a bomb attack on a TMC Panchayat leader. This set in motion retributive violence, which eventually left 8 people dead, locked in their houses and allegedly burnt alive. Now the BJP has taken up the matter at a national level, even seeking central intervention after a meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah.
बंगाल में देखिए इस प्रकार घटना आम बात होगी, लेकिन कल की आज की जो घटना हुई है सच में सबको हिला देने वाला है। पूरा बस्ती को, पूरा गांव को जला दिया जाता है। कहाँ तो कि सब देश में हो सकता है। एक सरकार है, मेजोरिटी लेके आई है, सरकार के हाथ में प्रशासन का डोर नहीं है। मुख्यमंत्री को दूसरे प्रदेश में जाके पार्टी बढ़ाने के लिए प्रयास कर रहे हैं। पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटी में ज़्यादा उनका समझ आ रहा है और प्रशासनिक गतिविधि में कम है।
Our popular leader, he has been killed, and later one fire incident happened, and that area, that village, there were no political tension in that village, so we are apprehending of larger conspiracy to disturb TMC and to disturb Bengal.
Now, the BJP has dispatched a fact-finding commission to the state. The Chief Minister, meanwhile, has again locked horns with state's governor, Jagdeep Dhankar, who had earlier remarked at the worsening law and order in West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee said that the governor is only trying to politicize a crime. In fact, the police went so far as to say that this matter was one of personal rivalry, and to draw politics into it is a mischievous effort.
The administration is required to rise above partisan interests, which, in spite of questions, is not being reflected in reality. I have called upon the Chief Secretary to send me an urgent update on the incident. This matter makes it very difficult to resist that in the state of West Bengal, human rights are in decimation and rule of law has capsized.
It is not political, as I said, but there could be some other rivalry between two people over there, which is more of a different kind of a rivalry rather than a political rivalry between two different political groups. Definitely chilo. Jadi chilo, then perhaps it was personal enmity between two groups, which might have led to the murder of the Upapradhan. And so, if this is a retaliation, as I am right now not confirming whether this fire was because of a retaliation or because of some other incident, it is being looked into. So, if it was, then it was a retaliation because of that murder, which is got reasons in personal enmity, deep-rooted personal enmity, and definitely not between a political rivalry as it appears as of now.
Now, even as the centre, in fact, most people remain quiet about what's happening in West Bengal, Times now has already reached the spot and gets you this latest report of what's happening.
We are here at Rampurhat's Burdui village, a village that got erupted in massive violence, or rather got engulfed in violence. Houses after houses have borne the brunt of this mindless violence that has now left several people in this village homeless. The same violence which had left 7 people of the same family charred to death. Look at this house. This belonged to somebody which has been completely vandalized, ransacked, and then set ablaze. As I walk inside, I can literally feel the difference in temperature. Temperature from outside and the temperature inside, because the heat can be still felt. This used to be the kitchen of somebody which was completely ransacked, and the utensils have all fallen haywire, and it seems like there had been an effort to defend, and there was a scuffle which has led to such, things falling helter and skelter. And there was a struggle, seems like pretty much evident. If I can look into this particular room, I still see fire smoldering right underneath that bed, which is now completely gutted. The roof above has fallen down. That had given up to the fire. The entire wall has become black. I'm not even sure whether it's safe to be inside or not. So it's complete debris. A house of somebody has been reduced to ashes, and everything happened after the death of Trinamool Congress Panchayat leader Bahadur Sheikh. Now, Bahadur Sheikh is known to be pretty important, influential person, significant an individual in this neighborhood, and his death, his brutal murder, had sparked off a massive tension. Soon after that, there had been absolute mayhem. Who are these people behind this mayhem? Still unknown. 10 people have been arrested, but who are these people? Do they have any political color? It's still unknown. Look at this particular house. The cycle has been gutted. The entire roof has fallen down. Everything reduced to a debris.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Anirban Banerjee, political analyst, joining us along with Dr. Fuad Halim, spokesperson of the CPIM. First question to you, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. The Chief Minister and Kunal Ghosh both are saying that trying to send a delegation at this point is only going to make matters worse. Why are you doing it?
You know, Padmaja, I'm appalled, but I'm surprised that dispensation, including the Chief Minister, right down.
I think that mic that you have has some wire loose. We'll please try and fix that. Anirban Banerjee, how is it that a TMC leader gets attacked and within an hour there is violence of this kind, and yet the police is saying the two are not related? How?
First of all, I don't know exactly what the facts of the matter are. Investigation is underway. Therefore, I am not going to speculate something. What we know for a fact is that as soon as this incident came to light, as soon as the state administration came to know of this incident, they took administrative measures. Some of the police personnel responsible for that area, they were closed from their duty, and a special investigative team was formed as soon as possible, and now they are at their task. Therefore, what information comes out after the as the investigation goes along, that is not something to speculate. But the police will tell something, whatever they find. They are not going to give out facts that suits the BJP or suits the opposition or something like that, or even for that matter suits the ruling party.
Why
Therefore,
is there speculation and insinuation, Fuad Halim, while an investigation is underway?
Well, it's very clear that the two incidences that have taken place have occurred within a couple of hours of each other. And we know that in one incident already 10 people have been arrested, and regarding the other incident in which more than 10 people have lost their life, not a single arrest has taken place as yet. So by itself, it is very clear that the police, the way it is moving in one case and in the other case, is not at par with each other. And one has to keep in mind there is serious confusion within the ranks of the administration in the number of deaths that have come across. We've seen that the fire brigade has issued that 10 people have died. We've seen that the the state administration, the DGP, has said that 8 people have died, whereas the district police and the hospital are saying that 7 people have been killed in the tragedy. So at the same time, you've got the district Trinamool president in the morning give a clarion statement that this has happened because of a short circuit over there, whereas everybody knows that the entire mobilization had taken place. There was planning, there were bombs that were hurled, there were firearms that were taken, petrol was taken in a planned way, the door was locked from outside, petrol was poured, and the entire house was set afire, and young children and women have died. It's very clear from this incident that the way the state administration is moving, they are taking a slanted view in this entire
slanted
issue.
view, Anirban
They are not
Banerjee.
opening up. There is confusion, and the confusion is premeditated.
Premeditated, Anirban Banerjee.
Well, Padmaja, very seriously speaking, Dr. Fuad Halim represents a party that has been in power in Bengal for 34 years, and there had been so many incidents akin to.
Please answer the question on the floor.
Today, sir, just a minute.
May I, Padmaja?
And of much more magnitude than what happened today. That Dr.
But Mr. Banerjee, that doesn't make it okay. You can't say CPM killed 3,000 people, so we will kill 30. Please address the issue. Was this premeditated or not?
First of all, how does Dr. Fuad Halim know whether it was premeditated? Was he a part of that attacking gang? None of us know what exactly happened. Let the investigation take place. I am not even saying that somebody from the ruling party was not involved.
Okay. Nobody knows what is happening. Why are you alleging that this was premeditated, Sanju Verma? Nobody knows. How do you know?
Padmaja, am I audible?
Yes, now you are. Please go on.
Okay. Padmaja, as I was saying, I am appalled that the entire dispensation of Trinamool Congress, starting from the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, down to her senior leaders like Kunal Ghosh and Partha Chatterjee, have completely dismissed a horrific incident in which close to 10 people, including 2 young minors, have died. You know, the Trinamool supporters have said, how does, the BJP or anyone else for that matter know that it was premeditated? Fine. By using your argument and your logic, I want to know, how is it that before a probe is conducted, you have said that it is an accident? I will just tell you, Padmaja, the DGP of West Bengal, Manoj Malviya, we heard him 2 minutes back. He said this was just an accident in which some people lost their lives in a fire. But there is a very interesting statement prima facie by Gyanwant Singh, who is going to be heading the SIT which will probe this horrific incident in, Birbhum. He says that prima facie, this does not seem like an accident. It seems like an incident where people were locked in a house and it was set on fire. They were screaming for help, but no one came to their rescue. We don't know the house, whether it was TMC goons or otherwise. But a prima facie statement from Gyanwant Singh makes it clear this was not an accident as it is being portrayed.
May I respond to that?
Yes, respond to that. So are you suggesting a cover-up? Are you suggesting confusion or a cover-up? Sanju Verma.
I'm very happy that Madam Sanju Verma actually quoted a police officer.
Padmaja, I don't understand.
Just a second. Let's address this one by one. How can the police officer, how can the DGP, prima facie, out of hand, within 24 hours, call it an accident, and you sit on TV and say, I don't know what it is, Anirban Banerjee?
No. It is for the police to give us information.
Just a second. Let him address the first part. Yes.
Madam Sanju Verma just quoted an officer from the West Bengal police. Mr. Gyanwant Singh is part of the West Bengal police.
I know he's a part of West Bengal State CID. He's a part of West Bengal State CID. So, should I not quote him? He has categorically said it was not an accident.
You are defeating your own argument after quoting him that the government is trying a cover-up.
It seems to be a case where people were deliberately set on fire.
That you are accusing
a senior West Bengal State police officer says people were deliberately set on fire. Why are you
Okay, just a second, sir. Let's ask you a straight question. You admit it's too soon to pass judgment on what happened in Birbhum? Mr. Banerjee? You agree it's too soon?
Yes.
Then how is it that the police on record is saying it seems like an accident? Another official is quoted as saying it was a cylinder blast.
Because the investigative team is consisted of the police officers and not of political analysts or political leaders or TV anchors. That is what I said. It is for the police to find out whatever.
Sir, if it is for the police to find out, why is the police passing judgment calling it an accident? That is the direct question. I agree it is for the police to find out. My question to you is, why is the police prejudging it as an accident?
They are not judging it. They are giving out any information to the press as they are receiving it. maybe they will receive more information after more investigation, and their inference might change in the future.
Okay, Fuad Halim, the thing is that West Bengal has a history of political violence, including your party. But now it is conveniently being pinned on TMC, every time putting them on the mat, irrespective of what may have happened, trying to imply as if they are the only ones who behave like this. Fuad Halim.
If you look at the comments made by the wife of the vice chairperson of the panchayat who was killed last night, she very categorically said that of all the money that my husband earned, he spent 20% returning it to people in terms of donation. And the other people were jealous of this because he earned so much being the vice chairperson of the panchayat over there. So this entire corruption that has engulfed West Bengal, and that is the central focus. You have to keep in mind this incident that has taken place in Birbhum is reflected yesterday in Baliganj Assembly constituency, where an election meeting was being conducted by the TMC. You had one fraction assault the other fraction with bhujalis and knives and everything, and 3 people are admitted and hospitalized. So this is an all Bengal phenomenon. In the past 30 days, 26 people have been killed. There are people from the Trinamool who have been elected, have been killed. There are people who are from the opposition who have been elected to municipalities who have been killed. You have this situation prevailing in West Bengal, and you have a senior minister saying that if bullets are not fired, if bombs are not burst, then what will the police and the adalats do, the courts do? They will become unemployed. You know, such a narrow, what you call, comment by a senior minister of the administration gives you an idea as to how violence is looked upon by the Trinamool Congress.
Okay, it is the culture of impunity and violence that is being bred. Before you answer that, Anirban Banerjee, Sanju Verma wants to add to that. It is the culture that is being bred. Whether it be after the 2nd of May 2021 or whether it be 22nd March 2022. Anirban, Sanju Verma, add to this. Yes.
Okay, Padmaja, you know, I largely disagree with Fuad Halim on most issues, but today I will just add to what he has said. It is not lost on anyone. If you recall, Padmaja, even post the announcement of results of the assembly elections of West Bengal, you know, more than 70 to 80,000 Hindus fled Bengal. And I remember when the NHRC, National Human Rights Commission, please, you know, it is not your turn to speak. Let me finish.
Nobody fled from Bengal. Nobody fled from Bengal.
Sir, please hold on. Please hold on. We have had n number of debates, and don't even get me started about the CBI investigation that is underway. Let's just stick to this issue, because let's face it, you may keep protesting innocence, but you haven't covered yourself in glory there. There is documented sexual harassment, sexual violence and murders, but please don't heckle. Just finish your point, Sanju Verma, then you will answer. Yes.
Okay. Anirban, please don't heckle me. Padmaja,
nobody can heckle you, ma'am.
National Human Rights Commission was, when the National Human Rights Commission, if you recall, in June 2021, when they were attacked, you know, and they appealed to Justice Rajesh Bindal of the Kolkata High Court that please take our complaints on board. There has been forceful violence. Our senior members, including attack. Mamata Banerjee came out publicly. She even tweeted that this is a figment of imagination of the NHRC. No forceful Bengal violence took place.
Okay.
NHRC members were not attacked in Jadavpur. 1 minute. What did Justice Bindal say? Justice Bindal in September 2021 said allegations about politically motivated comments by NHRC are without merit, and West Bengal police has not covered itself with glory.
Okay, there you have it. Anirban Banerjee, now respond. Basically, it's a culture, it's the trend of violence and that of investigating agencies like the West Bengal police not covering themselves in glory, which is why what you call the insinuation.
First of all, I strongly object to the communal statements by Sanju Verma, so that was very in line with her party's political ideology. That's one thing. And the second point is that
Congress. Stop worrying about the
ma'am, as soon as I point out that need for your party, You are having problems. Why are you having problems? You are communal. You are communal. You insinuate communal riots. You are comfortable with communal riots.
Okay, sir, please. Sanju Verma, let him answer because then this heckling and slanging match starts and the main issue goes unaddressed. Is it pure coincidence that you've got these repeated incidents of violence, of murders, Anirban Banerjee, and the court comes in and wraps your government? Leave the BJP, leave the CPM, the court has wrapped you in the past, and now this happens.
If you are referring to the so-called post-poll violence case in this matter, then I must remind you that there was Justice I.P. Mukherjee who had categorically observed in that particular judgment that more than 90% of the cases took place after the results were declared.
Okay, again you are sidestepping my main question, sir. You know, you will quote selectively if you really want to debate the post-poll violence and what the Calcutta High Court has said about it, what the NHRC has said about it, what has been submitted in the Supreme Court by way of affidavit. We can sit here and debate till kingdom come. Be that as it may, it's a terrible, terrible loss of life, and especially when women and children were allegedly burnt alive. Also, 7 members of a family. We hope the truth is out there, even if it requires the court's intervention. We'll be watching. For now, thank you very much, both gentlemen, Sanju Verma, for joining me.